okay, LightWave 3D always had its own dynamic system. We can see here we have clothed effects, soft effects, hard effects, of course particle system, and all these resources, these tools have been used for years now to produce the incredible shots you have been watching on the screen. So starship exploding and every building collapsing, every kind of this, you know, of this kind of VFX shot. Now we have introduced, with 11 we introduced the rigid body bullet dynamic system, which brought into LightWave great precision, simulating intercollisions and, you know, this kind of visual effects. What I want to show you before starting with soft body, since soft body is something we had it in 11.5, but bullet dynamics, or rigid body dynamics, was introduced in 11. I want to show you how easy it is to break an object in LightWave. So I have set up this very simple scene with this floor object, this bowl, and this object that we're going to fracture in Modeler. I have the same object in Modeler, of course, so let's go on layer 3. I will use the fracture tool, which is included in, of course, in LightWave 11, to fracture this object using the Voronoi algorithm. It's very fast. I generated this this fracturing in seconds, and as you can see, we can see a preview of the final result here, stored into a morph, which can be used, you know, if we have to quickly animate something exploding. Anyway, let's go on the base object. Let's save this object, and now I have in the scene, I have this new fractured object. We can see it's fractured here. I don't need the source object, so I can take it out of my view. All I have to do to animate, dynamically animate the scene, is to select this object and go under the F8 tools and make it a static body. It will not be moving or subject to gravity forces or any other kind of force, and it will just stay here to collide with other objects. So this will be a kinematic body because I wanted to be able to animate it in a scene, and this is going to be a parts body. What's cool in LightWave is that I mean, normally in other bullet implementation, when you have a fractured object, you're going to have every single piece in a single layer. This results in a very messy scene with a lot of objects in the same scene. In LightWave, we have just one object with all the pieces, and Bullet recognizes every single piece and can do the calculation on it. So this becomes a parts body. I can already play the animation and see the result. So the object's fracture is colliding with a bowl and then with the floor. Once it's calculated, you can play it in real time. Of course, we can assign different shapes to the object. This is a box, so this could speed up the calculation a lot. Give some margin, and let's do the same for the bowl. Let's make it a sphere shape and some margin here as well. This is okay with convex pieces shape. Now if I play it's a little faster, it's very precise. I can control, it's very important to control how objects are fracturing, because when you're working on this kind of shots, you have to create a choreography of the events happening. So to do this now, you can see that when I play the animation, the object is collapsing completely, all the pieces are detaching. What I can do is to control the strength that links every single piece to another with a glue strength. So if I set it to something like 100%, we're going to get a behavior that is more like a soft body object than a rigid body. The glue strength is so strong that nothing can break the object. But I can define a rule so I can decide if that the object has to fracture once a certain bend angle is reached. This is the bending angle option. Now it's set to 5 degrees, and now we can see that where the object bends more, it breaks. So this let us do very organic breakage. I could even move this object here. Let's open the bullet dynamics, okay, and let it fall. Of course I have to enable dynamics again. Now it's calculating, so we're going to see the result. Now it's not breaking, just breaking in a part of it, but it breaks exactly on the impact point with the corner of the ground. Of course we can easily make this more breakable, just lowering down the breaking angle. Okay, now it's breaking more and more pieces. Of course we can clone this object, have another one in the scene, and recalculate. And everything is interacting, of course. We have very precise collisions and intercollisions. So with this kind of tool, it's really easy to create your own collapsing and destruction shots. Let's take a look at something else now. To the soft body we have introduced in LightWave 11.5. Bullet is just a library you can implement in your software. How you do that, it's up to the coders and to the workflow you choose. We try to do that, making it easy to use and very effective. Let's take a look at this very simple scene of this manta. Okay, in this scene we have an object, just a very simple object without bonds, without any endomorphs, any morphs, and it's just animated on the y-axis. But applying soft body dynamics to the object produces this kind of result, which is a very natural looking motion with practically without effort. Of course we can activate our BPR, and since the object is very simple, it is played in real time, almost in real time. This is just defining keyframe on the object. Let's take a look at something more complex. This dragon soft wing scene. Yeah. Okay, in the scene we have this dragon walking, and as you will see, the wings have been made soft. We're talking about the one-layer object, and we're defining which part of the object was had to be soft, so controlled by soft body dynamics using a weight map, just defining a weight map. So now it's calculating. We can stop at frame 50, so we will see the animation. Okay. And now if I play the animation, we can see how the wings are very naturally moving. Okay, I still have to calculate some keyframes. Okay. And we have a great control over it. Even in this case, we can control how stiff they are. Let's change some of these parameters. Maybe 20% for shape retention. Now they will look more stiff. If we go in modeler, take a look at this model. go over here and take a look at the weight map I created for the wings. This is all we have to do. We have to define with the weight map what is soft and what is not. Of course, I could do that for other parts of the same object. Okay, this is calculated. So now we get a more stiff animation. Less clothy, but still effective. Okay, now let me show you something else, because cloth effects, the previous system we had, was really useful, but not so precise about self-collisions. With bullet dynamics, we can really have some incredible interaction between different clothes. Okay, so in this scene we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clothes falling down and interacting with self-collision. And as you can see, the calculation is very fast and very precise. This is something that was very hard to achieve before. So we can easily simulate clothes on character, clothes on clothes, without any problem. So that's what we have in the scene. I can even activate VPR in this case. Now we have ray traced shed. I can activate reflection on the plane to make it a little better. Everything, of course, in real time. What is cool now in the VPR, even if this is not directly connected to soft body dynamics, but it's interesting because now we have depth of field in VPR. I want to show you that. So let's activate the depth of field. We're in draft mode. Okay, and here we are. As you can see, I can decide the f-stop value. This is a little too low. Okay, and change the focal distance so I can focus on the sphere, for example. I can lower down this to enhance the effect, make it more, so 0.04. Okay, you can change the anti-aliasing options here. So VPR is going to refine, and we're having a pretty realistic effect directly in the preview renderer. A good addition that helps you to work, taking always a look to the final result you want to get. I'm going to show you something a little more technical, but interesting. Let's. I will need just this. Okay. Send it to layout. Save it as a plane. Okay. So I'm going to make this plane soft, following some rules. I will not use a weight map this time. Let's go in. Okay, this view. I want to measure how big is this object. It's about, okay, it's about less than 2 meters. I can place a null in the middle of this object and make it dynamic. Soft object in this case. If I press play now, it's falling down. I have to set it to last here. Okay. Now it's falling down because I did not define any rule to fix some points. But I will use the distance to this null to do that. So let's open the bullet dynamics property panels and use the shape retention to do that. I will use a gradient on the distance using the null as reference object. So now what I can do, I've seen my object is about 2 meters, so 3 meters is okay. I will set shape retention value to 100% close to the null, and while we go far from the null, it's going to low down to 0. So If I press play now, that's what I get. I can change, of course, the gradient. So as you can see now, in the center is stiff. I can even add some dumping to make it stop before. Okay, so now we get this. What is really amazing is that I can animate the position of this null in time. So I can, let's say, keep it there at frame 20, and I can move it, translate it at frame 60 near the border. Oh, I'm animating the wrong object, sorry. I should, okay, let me delete these keyframes. I have to select the null, of course. Okay, so frame 30, let's do frame 30, steady, frame 60, it moves here. So let me reset the simulation. Now if I press play, as the null approaches, I'm changing the pinning in real time. This is a great feature because it gives you an incredible control over soft body dynamics. I can even completely exit from the range this way, so the object now will fall down. I have to reset it, to reset the simulation, of course. Okay. And now it's falling down. Nothing is keeping it from being pinned. So we can really get incredible results. Let's take a look at how can I simulate a more cloth-like material. This is really stiff, as you can see. Using the angular stiffness, which is the resistance the object has to be bent, if I lower it down, I can simulate a more clothy surface. This kind of settings are really intuitive, and that's what we have been thinking about while defining the workflow for our very own implementation of Builder Dynamics. I can really lower it down a lot, so we get something like that. So, okay. Of course, we can add bones to the object. We can use endomorphs to animate the object, and we will have reaction. Let's add some bones to this. I will add some controls using Genoma. Let's do this. Set up Genoma presets. This is Genoma, is the new rigging system present in LightWave 11.5. I'm going to add some very simple controls that will let me bend the object. So let's use this one. Okay, I'm going to position the controls in the object. I want it to be here. Okay, let's make it bigger. Okay, and done. Okay, I'm going to delete the null from the scene. We don't need it. Okay, and let's create the controls. I'm going to save my plane and create the Genoma rig. So what I have now is this controller. It's been automatically created to let me animate this object. What I have to do is to define now a weight map to pin the object in the bond position. So I'm going to select this, basically these polygons, and create a new soft weight. Let's save it. So now it's not animated, but the shape retention can go. I can specify this this weight in the mesh filter option here and press play. And of course I have to fix Oh, sorry, I did just the opposite. And the bullet soft body, you're defining what's going to be soft, creating the weight there. Okay, so let's do that now. Okay, let's take a look at the weight map. Okay, now it's correct. We save it, and we can reassign. What? Oh, okay, sorry, it was... Okay, so now we have this effect. Of course I can animate the bonds and the object this way. Like we can twist it pretty violently like this and reactivate the dynamics. And now the object is reacting to the movement, of course. I can control how much the object is dynamic or not, just using the shape retention. If I set it to 100%, the object is going to follow perfectly the deformation, so no soft dynamics will be visible. But lowering down the value will give us different results. Of course, we can set it to 10% and have this kind of result, or to 1% to have a very cloth-like. Of course, I have to reset. Okay. Okay. Oh, I put it to 100%, which was me. Okay. So if you have to simulate the flag, you can do that. And in LightWave 11.5, we will have constraints, bullet constraints for rigid body dynamics. We will have forces, so turbulence and additional gravity forces, vortex forces that will help us to build our scene. For simulating, for guiding fiber effects, fibers. So let's create, in this case, a very simple bowl. Let's measure that. It's about 2 meters, maybe a little too much, but it's okay. Let's go in texture wired. I'm going to use Fiber Effects plugin in Modeler to create some guides on the points of the surface. Let's set some more nodes. So now I have that in layer 1. In layer 2, I'm going to copy and paste it. Layer 1 and merge the results. So now I have an object with guides attached. There is a new way Fiber Effects is working that lets you have these guides drive the simulation, the dynamic simulation, and the surface grow the guides. So we have a combined effect. So let's save it as a soft fibers LWO, and let's send it to layout. So what I can do now is create very simple simulation and add a deforming body. Let's open the bullet dynamics. So now if I hit play, what I get is this. It's falling down. I didn't specify any weight. I want only the fibers to be driven by soft body. Luckily, Fiber Effects is doing that for us. It's producing a weight map, which we can see here, the full weight map, which has a gradient on it. So we can use this stuff. I can map the shape retention, which is the parameter that controls how much the weight map has to be dynamic, the mesh has to be dynamic. We can use a gradient to drive it. We can use a procedural texture or in the mesh map. Let's map the shape retention with this gradient, weight map. And let's select it. It's this one. And I can go a little over 0 here. and set it to 0. Okay, so if I hit play now, that's what I get. Only the fibers are dynamically moving. Let's go in wireframe, which is pretty cool. Of course, they are not stopping. I want them to stop a little earlier. So let's use the damping coefficient to do that. And now we will play the new simulation with the fibers, stopping the right way. This is going to help a lot. Of course, we can apply. Of course, we can change the gradient. We can act on the gradient. If I want them to be really, really soft, I can raise up the value here, and now they are more soft. What's cool is that if I apply fiber effects to this object, I have to, now it's active. I can close the bullet dynamic. Now it's active, and I have to activate the default surface here. And now we're going to see the fibers on the object. Of course, gravity has to be set on 0 because we're going to use the gravity of the soft bodies. And we can lower down the number of fibers. I just want to show you how the fibers are following the simulation. So this is pretty cool. Like, we can add some, some movement to that. And recalculate. I can turn off drawing of the fibers so it calculates fast. Okay, we are moving like that. So we have fibers again ready to be shown. It's pretty cool. We can even style. We could even style the fibers, and let's try that. Since I think I have other 2 minutes so I can show you something. We can edit the guys, and what is cool, even in symmetry, why not? Let me increase this value and this one too. But it's sort of brush that lets you scale and change the fibers somewhere. So what I have done now, I've created a new style, which I can't see at the moment because I have the dynamics active. But if I save out this object, save current object, and select soft fibers, style, I can load this object now here, and notice how the style is now morph I created. I can apply, of course, this. We're perfecting this workflow, but I want to show you that because it's interesting. We can apply this morph to the base object and save it. So I'm going to replace I'm going to save it, yeah, and I'm going to replace it. Okay, replace with object. Well, it's done. Okay, I just can save the scene probably. Let's call it Lino. It's okay. So now, if we reset the simulation in the bullet dynamics panel, here it comes. We're reset. Go back. Now the simulation is performed on the new style I've created. Let's make it faster. We can have a lot of different styles, which makes it pretty powerful. Okay, so now we have the simulation calculated and simulation on FiberFX. This is pretty cool. If you do character animation, this is going to be your friend for sure. So that was all about, for now, about soft body dynamics in LightWave 11.5. Thank you for listening. Thank you to be here. And, let's go